Hi, my name is Meghan Pecci. I'm a registered dietitian at Valley Mount Sinai Comprehensive Cancer Care, and today we are going to be talking about some common dietary myths in regards to breast cancer. Does soy cause breast cancer? So this is a very common myth that we see with a lot of our patients, and the answer is no. Soy does not cause breast cancer. The reason as to why they thought this was is because back in the day they found that soy foods have something called phytoestrogen, and they believed that it interacted with our estrogen, and that's not the case. Actually, more current studies have shown that soy foods can actually be really beneficial to reducing the risk of breast cancer. And when I say soy foods, I mean whole soy foods such as tofu, tempeh, edamame, soy milk. But when it comes to those processed soy foods such as soy protein isolate, that's something that we recommend to limit to the best of your ability due to it being highly concentrated and processed. Some foods that you would find in those is protein powders and protein bars. Does dairy increase breast cancer risk? So there's a lot of mixed research when it comes to dairy and breast cancer. And some studies show that high amounts of whole milk has been shown to potentially increase the risk of breast cancer. However, other studies found no link whatsoever. Current research shows that fermented dairy foods such as yogurt and cheese can actually be quite beneficial to reduce the risk of breast cancer. So I truly believe that dairy in moderation could be incorporated into a well-balanced diet. Sugar feeds cancer, right? This is a very common one that I hear often, and the answer is no. Sugar does not feed cancer. Cancer cells are pretty aggressive, and they're going to feed off of anything in the body, not necessarily just sugar alone. What you need to be mindful of, though, is how much sugar you're consuming, because excessive amounts of sugar in the diet can lead to weight gain, and that is the risk for breast cancer. So being mindful when you're looking at the ingredient list, being mindful of those hidden sugars, and also looking at the nutrition fact label and looking at the added sugars. There's a lot of hidden sugars found in cereals, yogurts, juices, so being mindful of those things. Last question. What kind of diet should you follow to reduce breast cancer risk? So the American Cancer Society does recommend following a Mediterranean plant-based diet focusing on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats such as olive oil, nuts, seeds, protein foods in moderation such as fish, poultry, and dairy products. Being mindful of how much red meat you're having, just because red meat tends to be higher in saturated fat, so we do encourage no more than once a week. And by red meats, I mean pork, beef, or lamb. When it comes to processed meats, though, which is found in deli meat, ham, bacon, sausage, there's a stronger link when it comes to the risk of breast cancer. So we do encourage limiting that to the best of your ability, just knowing that any amount can potentially increase the risk. For alcohol, kind of like processed meats, it's something that you want to be mindful of how often you're consuming it. So we as a team here recommend no more than 3 drinks a week, but less is always better. Now more than ever, there are a lot of companies coming out with non-alcoholic beers and wines, so maybe this is something that you can try to incorporate, or even looking into a new mocktail recipe. I hope that you found this information helpful. You can check us out on Instagram or our website.